2016 marks the worst start in history for the financial markets. So what we're looking at here today is the prospects for 2016 and where we can see it all unfolding from here. I just did a video about this specifically, but I just wanted to talk more opinionated, just to discuss it in an open forum sort of. So let's begin with how I feel this will all play out. I would like to first address something. Every year I think about New Year's as it's coming down, as the clock is ticking, the ball's about to drop. I think to myself that the 31st of December is not really much different than the 1st of January. This happens year over year, and I don't really think too much of it. It's just another day. But this year was the first time ever where I felt a difference. I actually felt that 2016 was something new. Not necessarily bad or good, but I couldn't help but feel that there was a difference. I do feel that we're in for something in 2016. I'm not saying there's going to be a collapse in 2016 or anything like this, but I do see big changes coming. We can see how it's starting off and is definitely not too good. Some of the things that we need to pay attention to are, of course, start with the obvious, the Federal Reserve. We need to understand that interest rates have been increased at their bare minimum. Of course, they were between 0 and 0.25, and now they're between 0.25 and 0.5. So technically didn't actually need to increase any, depending on their fluctuations in time. If they go up from here, we're in store for some chaos, let's call it, if it raises to a high enough point. But what does that do to the rest of the economy globally? So keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on the US dollar. This is very important to watch as well. Canadians are feeling the strength of the US dollar because our dollars don't really buy too much against the US dollar, even though during the financial crisis at one point, the Canadian dollar was worth 114 to the US dollar. So things have certainly changed in a big way. I would look at, of course, interest rates. Also look for the prospect of QE4, something that often doesn't really get addressed anymore ever since QE3 really ended. You need to think about what's going to happen with QE4. They can obviously get the stock markets to be propped up temporarily, kick the can down the road. I would look for the 2016 elections. Obviously very big. Who they elect doesn't matter, but everything that happens along the way is, of course, important. And Obama wants to get a lot of new things to happen prior to him leaving office. Everyone that's basically been supporting him all along, that's financially, of course, they need to get their laws put into effect before the year is up. So look for more activity on that front. I would also like to address the global stock markets as a whole. Pay attention to what's happening in Brazil. Pay attention to what's happening in Venezuela. South America is obviously very important, but what's happening, of course, in Europe as well. Don't forget about them. We need to understand what's going to happen in Greece, what's going to happen in Spain and Italy and these other countries that are highly indebted. Pay attention to that. Pay attention, of course, to what's happening with the whole ISIS fiasco. Today they're ISIS, tomorrow it's Daesh, tomorrow it's something else. It's the boogeyman and it's Bin Laden and it's everyone else that they put in front of us in the mainstream media. Understand it, follow it, at least with basic intentions here throughout 2016 and see where it all unfolds. Pay attention to one of the most important statistics, and that is the civilian labor force participation rate. Understand how crucial this is to the global economy, because it's not just the US. The US affects the whole world. But if you just want to take it for the US itself, understand that that's the real unemployment rate. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the true inflation numbers, to the true unemployment numbers, and you can do so through Shadow Stats. That's shadowstats.com. John Williams, an economist who did say that there would be a hyperinflation in the US by 2014, something that, I didn't think that would occur by 2014. He calculated it, and of course, I believe that was definitely incorrect, but his statistics in terms of his calculations are using the US's own calculations from 1980, 1990s, so it's nothing to basically think this is a dream or think this is imaginary. These are real calculations that he's using. I would look at all the indicators that I've been covering over these years. Don't focus too much on what the mainstream media says. It's interesting to note how they bring that up, but I had a discussion with somebody within the financial services industry, let's call it that, who said, look, non-farm payrolls are coming up. This is something to watch out for. Non-farm payrolls, completely useless. Basel 123 recommendations, not important. These people are looking at the absolute wrong things. Don't get involved in that. Don't think about it. Don't even look at it if you don't want to. It's fun to see, but it's nothing more of a joke, nothing more than a little, comic relief. These are some of the things that I want to pay attention to through 2016. I'll be covering them on the show. I hope that you're watching. Other things that I just want to say is that, I do appreciate every single person that shares these videos, that comments on the videos, that gives me those thumbs up. It's very important. I like to do a different show than many others out there. My intention, the long-term intention here, is not just to do daily videos, but more importantly, to form an educational system. A family member or a friend who doesn't know about this financial situation that's going on, wants to protect their money, just wants a basic understanding, but they don't want to get into all the deep research. They don't want to get into who the Rockefellers are or who the Rothschilds are and how they're intertwined into the financial industry. Maybe they want to know about their pensions. Maybe they want to know about bail-ins. By forming this educational system, and that right there is how we will get into them. We will get this information into them, not from the daily type videos, but into that eCourse, into my book, into those type of things, which will be able to be essentially with the eCourse free. I want hundreds of videos on there for people to get into, that they can just see those videos whenever they want. It's at themoneygps.com/free eCourse, and basically educate the public, get them to understand what they're trying to hide from us. That's my goal. I hope you do support me in that. We are nearing 30,000 subscribers here on the channel. Also, we are over 5 million views here. So this is getting bigger, and that is a prospect for liberty, and makes me happy to know that people are in fact interested in this. So that's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Of course, you want to check out the website, themoneygps.com. Lots of good information on there. Take care.